This is our Try It Tuesday for January 11th. It's a hammered bangle made out of copper. And it's just got a little hook here. That's how you take it on and off. So I'm going to show you how to assemble one of your own. Really the only supplies that are actually go into the bracelet are 16 gauge wire. So I'm going to cut about a 10-inch piece. That'll be plenty. It may be a little more than you need, but you don't want to end up with a bangle that's too short. So you probably want to make sure that both the ends of your wire are nipped with the flat side of your cutters against the part you're keeping. That's going to give you a more flush cut at the end. So I'm just going to trim the very tip off of my piece. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create this wrapped loop on the front. And we're going to do that while it's still straight. So I'm going to take a ring mandrel. And you can really make this part whatever size you want. You're just going to pick a spot and wrap it around. So this spot looks good. Then when you pull it off, you've got a loop. And I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and right where it crosses, I'm going to stand this long part out straight, kind of like that. So then we're going to take this little short piece and wrap it around the base right here. Now I usually hold my loop with my chain nose pliers, and then you can use your fingers to wrap around. Now I'm right-handed, so when I'm doing wrapped loops, even though it seems like you'd want to use your dominant hand for the wrapping part, you have to use more strength for the gripping part. So I usually grip with my dominant hand and then do the wrap with my other. So you just want to do a few little wraps, and then you can trim your extra. And you'll have to work the last little bit down. But that's what you're going for. And you're probably thinking, but that doesn't look as pretty as the one on the bracelet. It's because we haven't hammered it yet. So we're going to just snag a steel bench block. I'm going to warn you, it's going to shake the camera when I do it, but we're just going to hammer the loop a little bit to get some of that texture. And you want to go ahead and hammer on both sides. So that's going to keep your loop stiff, and it's going to give you a nice flat, shiny side to it. So we're done with the block. And then the next thing we're going to do is I just have a wooden bracelet mandrel here. So you're going to hold your piece up against the bracelet mandrel and wrap around where you think it's going to fit for you. And what I would do before you do any hammering is take it off. And you can try it around your wrist to see. So for me, probably want it to be a little tighter. So I'm going to mark with my finger where I want the latch to be. And then you can take some pliers and kick it back so it makes a little hook. And you want to trim the extra bit off, kind of like that. And now that we kind of know it's the right size, we're going to put it back on the mandrel, get it shaped back out, and then you can hit it. I've got a rawhide mallet for hardening. But just go around a few times, and what you're doing is you're hardening the metal so that it wants to keep its shape in that rounded shape, so that this wants to stay rounded. And then you're all set. If you want to, you could file the little end of your hook a little bit with just a little file, like a little metal file. But otherwise, your bangle's done. You just get to do a little forging and use a little wire.